Okay, good morning. Welcome to the Daring to Differ podcast. I am your host, Anaki. Happy to be back again. But what I've realized now, I need to have Oshinyanga with you guys so that we can have these cozy conversations. I remember when I used to go to the holidays to Bambuland, to northern Namibia, we used to akuhungira Poshinyanga, and Poshinyanga we tell stories, and that's where you learn a lot of things from the elderly. So I'm planning to bring that Oshinyanga setting or environment, Mushimba, where I stay, Leombodaido. I want to set up Oshinyanga so that we can have these conversations, because I feel like a lot of transformation in families, in the Awambo people, at least what I know is that most of the conversations happened Oshinyanga. That's where the elderly shared their visions with the kids, be it the visions in terms of who is going to inherit the land once I am gone, or who is going takakusa kwehombo, ngero punontu nenge aharo kuhokana, they bring or hapoduno Poshinyanga. Nguna na torongo mikaro, they bring hapoduno Poshinyanga, you know? That's why people always say na tutameke no kutereka kwero, potukatu nesumbuto kukara Poshinyanga. You know, and these are the conversations that I want to be having with you guys, because I feel like as people who come from poverty, yes, I was gonna say that, it probably is already it's boring to you guys, but that is the reality. That is where a lot of us were born, and those are the challenges we had to navigate, the challenges of poverty. Hence, the cornerstone of this podcast is on poverty and how we can leave that environment and move to blue oceans. Blue oceans is a space where there's very few of us. There's so many opportunities. We are not competing in the red oceans where everybody is, because we already understand that where we come from is or was at least humbling enough. Therefore, we don't have the time to be competing with everybody in the red oceans. And it is something that we need to do for ourselves, is to create unique environments for ourselves, is to create new opportunities for ourselves, opportunities which do not exist, because we are daring, because we are creative people, and we are utilizing our energy, or at least our potential, to the max. Because already we were born in places where there's just nothing, or environments where there was nothing, but now we are redefining, we are disrupting, you know. So I want to have that setting with you guys where we can really just have a conversation, and with more conversations we can have, then we will create a movement of people who are daring to differ. We are daring to be different. We have been through many challenges, and you can name the challenges. You know the challenges for yourself if you come from poverty, be it financial challenges, be it emotional challenges, be it whatever challenges that you know where you come from. So that is the anchor of this podcast, with the Daring to Differ podcast, where we are saying we are redefining, because we are taking different actions. But nevertheless, so today, that's just the vision basically that I want to bring across. I want to have these comfortable conversations with you guys, or cozy conversations with you guys. Although what we are talking about is not so beautiful, it's not the glitz and the glamour that we all want to talk about, because it's humbling. It's humbling. It takes us back to spaces we don't want to be, you know. But for me, I feel like for you to feel the meaning of life, you always need to remember where you come from. And sometimes when we come to the city, we forget about where we come from, and we just run and become part of the masses, and we lose our identity. And sometimes we feel stuck because we've forgotten where we come from. And this podcast is just taking us back to where we come from, taking us back to our identities. Because I feel like we can only thrive in this world when we are operating from a place of awareness. I'm gonna remove these pegs. They are dirty, And yeah, I'll just put them here. Because, yeah. So, nevertheless, in today's episode, I'm just going to share with you guys if I'm just going to share with you guys some tools to follow, right? Or things to do. Come from poverty and you want to change your life completely. But remember, the life that we are changing is just not for an individual. It's rather systematically. We want to change our lives and the lives of our families. And eventually, when we change the lives of our families, then we change the entire community. When we change the entire community, we are changing the entire nation. You know? So we're starting with the man in the mirror first. These are the things that you need to do. If you really want to change, if you want to see something different from where you come from. So this is what I did, in no particular order. But number one is awareness, yeah? You need to be cognizant of the environment where you come from. You need to be aware of where you come from. In this context, I mean, oavawa mezimojiringini. You know? For me, I know where I come from. I know that. I was born in an environment that is full of love. I come from a house where I am loved dearly. Those that are from Ochivaranga, they will tell you how my mom will always be like, everywhere we go to church, Meme comes to school, Meme picks me up, the Rico store like month end or ShopRite, and we go buy our food there. So I come from that environment where I am dearly, dearly, dearly loved. That's why even if life is showing me flames, I can always go back home and get those, hugs, those kisses from my mom. That's the environment I come from, the house where I do not lack. But the only, let me get a right word for it. The only disruptor we had is poverty. That's the only thing that we had. Because, we had to navigate a lot to make ends meet. But there was love in that house. But as you know, we live in a life where you need to survive. So I know very well where I come from, we really had few resources and we had to go through a lot to live, If you have not seen my very first episode, I did narrate everything. I'm not going to get in the details of these challenges because I've already documented them. But although I come from that environment, I know that there is possibility for more. I know that there's possibility for us not to be scrambling for resources. I know there is possibility for us to move into a better environment. That's the awareness I had at the time, and I still have. So because of that awareness, I needed to be the change maker because I noticed that somebody needed to take the baton from my mom, right? Because our parents are aging, even in your family context, your parents are probably like, I don't know, maybe in their late 60s or late 50s. So eventually the baton needs to go to somebody. For me personally, I chose, I'm going to be the baton holder. But if you are a baton holder, if you dare today and you tell yourself that I am going to be the change maker, you need to operate from a place where you have the capacity to hold up space and to fulfill those, whatever you need to fulfill, whatever needs that you are seeing. But for you to have that capacity, you need to start with the man in the mirror. You understand? By that I mean you need to change yourself to see the results that are different from your environment. But how do you change yourself? Maybe you're wondering, how do I change myself to be that person who is able to execute whatever responsibilities that you want to execute in your life? This is what I did. I needed to transform myself. And transformation is such a buzzword, but perhaps let me add some tools to just make it easier for yourself. For me, one, I needed to start with my mindset. I needed to ensure that I liberate myself mentally from the lack that was happening. What did I do? I started reading. Yeah, books. And this one even talks about the alter ego. It's one of the brilliant books. And and I could relate a lot. It talks about totems. And as our humble people, we have omazumo happy sanakuta. Mbano akwamba. Mbano akuda. Mbano akwanangobe. Mbano ashik. And this book talks about those totems, how sometimes you can tap into your alter ego. And for me, Kezimojedo akuda. So I know say akuda, this is how we behave, this is what is expected from us. So with books, then I got to learn about journaling. People talk about journaling, but with self-help, if there's something that you want to do, is that you need to execute whatever you are learning. So journaling, I started doing it, and I have journals because now I needed to create a new person with new thoughts. Ne? The new person is myself. Just that I needed to have a different perspective so that I can bring up the change that I want to see. So I started journaling, started transforming my thoughts, started disrupting my beliefs, started new patterns, and eventually transformation. I needed to become a different person, and I needed to start with me changing here, changing my mindset, changing my beliefs, disrupting patterns, disrupting the patterns that have been. It means I needed to start transforming my thoughts. I needed to start transforming my beliefs or disrupting my beliefs, right? I needed to learn from others, So through books, I came across journaling, right? So through reading books, I came across journaling, and I started journaling. I think, from 20, I would say from 2014, and with every journal, I was putting my thoughts down. I was putting how I was feeling. I was putting the pain in those papers. I was putting my dreams on paper. I was putting the vision on paper for my family. So that's what I continuously. That's what I was continuously doing, and I didn't know that with that practice, I was actually just changing who I was to a better version of myself. So I disrupted most of the beliefs, such as we're gonna be poor and we are poor people. That I was like, out. We can actually get more and be more. I got that. I disrupted that there were certain limitations and I can't access certain opportunities. I stashed that away in the bin, and I created nuances of saying that I can actually get those opportunities. I also deserve to get those opportunities. So anything that had a limit to it, for me, I discarded it. Anything that had a limit, that you cannot do this, you cannot get this, anything that cannot, I discarded it, and I became almost rebellious in a good way. Even till today, don't come and tell me that this is not possible, because what do you mean? Because I know that we can all create. So even those people who are telling us, those are just people operating from a place of lack, and they don't want to tap in nuances. Hence, they want to continue preaching and stay in that cocoon and stay in that limiting environment. So I started changing my beliefs because I was aware of the environment where I come from, and I was aware of the new places I want to be in, or the new environment that I want to be, and as a family to be. So there was that awareness, and where I wanted to go then became even clearer. I created a vision for myself. I created a roadmap in terms of where I want to be. I'm just going to read some of the things I journaled, right? Just to give perspective. So these are just some of the journals, from the years. Some I probably even lost them because I would write, and every journal is filled with my words, it's filled with my thoughts, it's filled with my aspirations, it's filled with my pains, it's filled with my worries, it's filled with my dreams in every page of this. But most importantly, with every page I've started, I've given gratitude to the Lord. One, thanking God for giving me the wisdom to see the other possibilities, and thanking God for keeping me alive till this age, for thanking God for giving me all these opportunities that I've gotten. They sound like they're enormous, and I also know that you also have probably a lot of opportunities in your life that you've gotten, but maybe if you don't bring them to light, they might just vanish, and you'll be operating from a place of, I don't get things. But for me, with every opportunity, I put it in the papers, and this is how transformation happened. I wish on this hand I had like a stack of books, because I've read so many books. They also contributed to the transformation. Remember, with the Daring to Differ podcast, we are saying, let's do things differently, things that will put us from one stage to another, right? So these are just a few journals that I've had over the years. But some of them, I don't even know where they are. And I'm just happy that I did the work, man. I didn't know that I'll come here and share with you guys. Um, yo, this is from 2016. This is from 2016. I don't even know what idea what this was. I wrote in bold, like just this page. I wrote, "Thank you, Lord, for the idea. May you be with me on this amazing, life-changing journey." Anarchy, 15 April 2016. Journaling is good, guys, just to reflect on your thoughts at the time. Let me go through this. This is 2024 February. It says, "I am happy to be here. I am happy to be blessed by the Lord. My heart is pure and I am feeling inspired. I get to be present and I get to be all I need to be. I am living a blessed life and I am living an amazing life. I come to praise you, Lord, and to be in your house. I am unstoppable and I am a project manager." These are just the words I put in, and the more I write, the more gratitude I have, the more possibilities I see. Let's go to another one. This one is a beautiful journal. Oh, I love it. So pretty. And you can see it's written everywhere. These pages, they're all written to the back. Ne? Everything is written here, guys. Learn to write down your thoughts. Learn to transform yourself mentally. Because with every word I've written here, and I would write, even the dates, they're written here. The dates are written here, right? With every word, I think my brain was just learning the patterns, neuroplasticity. So when we operate from from a place of confidence or a place of awareness, it's because we have really put in the work. I have put in the work specifically. I'm not going to talk on your behalf. This is just something I learned from, I think his name is Stephen Pressfield, Turning Pro. I think these were some teachings from him. Turning Pro is not for everyone. We have to be a little crazy to do it if we want to. Huh? Okay, when we turn pro, we find our will and our voice, and we find our self-respect. We become who we always were, but had until then been afraid to embrace and live out. Ambition is the most primal and sacred, I don't know, to feel ambition and to, Anyway, this so I'll journal and I even just write some teachings from the books that I am reading. Um, Guys, I'm just happy I documented all these thoughts. Um, I am love. I rise every day. Everything in life happens for a reason. We have a gift, we have a purpose. We find the purpose every day. Love elevates everyone. Love, okay, I send out love and I get it back from everyone who receives it. I am grateful for all the suffering. I am full of joy. Ah, girl, I just love me, you know? And certain mornings I'll have time and just dream and put my dreams on paper, you know? This is just one of the dream I had. This is just one of the dream I had. It's basically, I think that it's a house plan, no? It's a house plan. This was in 2022? Yeah, 2022. This was a house plan. And this house plan, which I have here, it's turning as we speak. As is, this plan was created in 2022. This was just the first draft, and then I moved it to this. But as we speak, I wish I could put the photo of this standing house because I put it on paper and I executed it because I am that girl who gets things done. That is what I have trained my brain. I have rather, it's what I've trained my brain basically, you know? And every morning, all right, like I'll start with Dear Lord. You know, with Christianity, there are different people. Some will be praising and worshiping and putting their hands in the air and doing everything that they do, right? But for some of us, it's different. I worship differently, and my worship is more through writing. I write. On this day, it was on the 7th of the first month, so 7th of January 2022. Why am I complicating things? So I started, Dear Lord, thank you for this wonderful morning filled with lots of joy and abundance. I woke up feeling energized, happy, and motivated. Today I feel beautiful about myself. Dear Lord, thank you for always. Oh no, dear Lord, thank you for allowing me to go through last year. Oh, because it was in January. Uh-huh. I have utilized my savings to improve my life. I have utilized these savings to help my family. I entered 2022 having helped most of my family members. I will use 2022 on building my mom's house. I will. Guys, this was 2022. We're in 2025, right? Yeah. So 2022. 2023, 2024, I was done with this. I don't want to say bloody project, but yeah. Anyway, so I'm just giving you perspective, right? Put your thoughts, put your dreams on paper. That's how you transform your life. This is 2022. This one, guys, and some of these journals are just so interesting. Yeah? Diagrams everywhere. And I sometimes really just go like crazy to dream. And guys, dreaming is for free. Dreaming is for everybody, you know? Get the time. Most of you don't get time to do these things because what you do is the first thing you do when you wake up, you go on your phone, you scroll through social media, you move from Instagram, you go to TikTok, you go to Facebook, you go to LinkedIn, you go to wherever. By the time you are going to be done, you've already wasted an hour of your life, you know? Well, some of us were having the time to dream and just put these thoughts. So I'm just sharing with you guys, as part of the Daring to Differ movement, this is how we disrupt our beliefs because we were born in environments that did not have the space to teach us, right? So we need to teach ourselves. and become the vision and become, or rather go for the dreams that we deserve so that we can change those environments where we come from, you know? Getting started in consulting. I wrote this. This was only 2018. This was 2018. I graduated in 2016. So 2018, I don't remember, but I was still in my 20s. So do a lot of planning, plan what to do, how I'll do it, who will do it. Consulting is a marketing business. So I did become a consultant at some point because I had to first plan and put the thoughts on paper. Whew, girl, that's why I'm so obsessed. This was in 2018, and then I moved on to 2019. I had some affirmations here on this day. It was January the 9th, 2019, of course. I am an achiever. I am good enough. I am beautiful. And I would even put up a daily plan, guys. This is how you freaking transform yourself. These are just my teachings. So in my daily plan, I had reading a book by, I don't know, this is, I think, the Sinek guy. Simon Sinek, yes. Ready to start with a why. I needed to work on a proposal. I needed to listen to Mel Robbins. So I've been listening to Mel Robbins since 2019. But you know what? We are always listening to these guys from the West, you know. They are teaching us, but some of the teachings, they are not relatable. Mel Robbins will never talk about how her mom was a domestic worker, for instance. But our moms were domestic workers. So who's going to give us that perspective if people like us are not documenting these stories? Hence the Daring to Differ podcast was also started. I want to bring out our stories. Motivation should just be, it shouldn't be motivation from far, but it should be motivation from the lives we have walked. And our stories deserved to be documented. You know, so number 4 was then exercise for 30 minutes, read about monitoring and evaluation content, and work on the SOP, read about PMP. These are the things I needed to do. And this is the year 2019. Guys, you need to live an organized life, because if you say you're going to do it, you can actually achieve it. Can't believe this. I can't believe this. I'm not even choosing at this point. Gratitude. So in this whatever journal, right? It has sections. There is a section of each day I'm grateful for, and then you have my weekly achievements. And I wrote here my favorite moments this week, right? Reading for myself, being available for myself, living it all, giving it all my best, realizing that guys, I can't even read my handwriting. So when you're journaling, you say you go in an elevated state, your thoughts are just running and you're just scribing, literally. That's why I can't even read some of these words that I wrote here. But you notice that with every write-up I have in these books, it was meant for myself. And hence, I think the transformation happened because I showed myself love. I showed myself the possibilities that are available. I wrote down my plans. Goals for the week, rising at 4:30 a.m. Yo! I remember in the year 2021 when I used to post a lot on my status. Those who know, they will let me know. I mean, those who know. I would always write, rise and shine, rise and shine, rise and shine. And my rise and shine will rise and shine from 4:30 a.m. Rise and shine. And I did rise and shine. With those early mornings, I read. With those early mornings, I planned. With those early mornings, I visualized. I don't want to get carried away there, but guys, just put your thoughts on paper. This is another one. I think this is also 2023. It's all written here. Written. So I'm just teaching you guys. I'm just showing rather you guys the tools. Sometimes we speak in a way that we assume everybody knows, and sometimes it's just good when we have this session where I'm able to show you really the things that I did. So I had that awareness, and I did the things that needed to be done, which is to change my mindset, to change my beliefs. Because for me to rewrite my story, for me to rewrite my story or do things differently, I needed to become a different person, and I did become a different person. So that was just awareness, guys. This is a podcast, so our conversation will be longer, right? Or will be long because there's just so much divinely, so much presence of the Lord, and that when you see change, share it with others. That is why we exist as human beings, to help each other, to be there for each other. So exposure is number 2. Of course, I did talk already about reading, about journaling, and start meeting new people. Then your conversations will change. Start moving away from those so-called circles that you just associate yourself with. I used to go to places where I'll meet people that are just different from me, be it in terms of career, be it in terms of where they come from, And when I'm with those people, my conversation changes. I start learning from them, you understand? So I want to do some of those things. So go to places that you usually don't go to. Have different conversations. Have different conversations, if you understand what I mean. Okay, now the number 3. I just wrote them down so that I don't get carried away, because I am a lover of life. I am a lover of conversation. And so daring, you need to dare yourself. And I think this is why also I came up with the title for this podcast, Daring to Differ, because this is how I achieved transformation. It was through daring, through taking risks, through starting new projects that are so scary. But just at 26, I was working on projects that were scaring the hell out of me. But because I was daring, fear was so far-fetched for me. That's why I miss that child. Now in my 30s, I'm a bit like, I'm becoming this. And I don't like this because I'm not that person. I did not change myself to be this. A person who's always just, yes, ma'am, yes, but I'm more of a disruptor, Start taking new risks, do new things. You have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose to throw yourself in the pool or in the water. Me having a podcast that talks about poverty conversations, it's boring. I also know, because we don't want to talk about poverty conversations while there is nuances, while there is the glitz and the glamour. We want to talk about our, beautiful stuff. Who talks about poverty? Tell me. Which podcast talks about rising from poverty? Tell me. But is poverty not something that we have lived for the longest, most of us? If you look at the statistics of this country, how many people are still in the corridors of poverty? I needed to be brave. And this is what daring does. Now, the beauty, when you do all this, transformation happens. And for me, that's what I think happened to me, transformation. when you have transformed, it's like a whole system. You become a new person, and you are no longer bound to an environment because you are already changed in yourself. Does that even make sense? I don't know. But transformation is in a sense that should anything change in my life today, I'm able to adapt. I'm able to go back to these tools that are in here and just unlock and apply and adapt in that environment. If you move me from Windhoek, take me to the village, I will adapt. If you moved me from one organization, put me in a different organization, in a different industry, I will adapt. If you move me from one community, put me in a different community, I will adapt because I have transformed myself. I know the beliefs that I needed to walk away from. I know how to coexist with different people, and I understand that not everybody has the wisdom. And I'm able to bring myself to people's levels. I'm able to start new conversations because I am a different person. And transformation, what will I do with it if I'm not sharing it with you? So with the Daring to Differ podcast, with the Daring to Differ movement, we are saying once we have gone through all those levels and now we become different people, let's start giving back. Let's teach others how to do it in our family settings. Me being a baton holder, at this point, I am now giving it to my sister. I am passing it on to my sister to run with it. You understand? Because I have done my part. Now it's for her to do her part as well. So whatever you have learned, and I know a lot of us have transformed, right? Let us learn to give back. Let's teach those people in our families, our beloved siblings. Let's teach them also the tools that we have used to transform, because not everybody gets the opportunity to see the change they need to not everybody gets an opportunity to be where you are. So you want to teach others, right? You want to share this knowledge. You want to you want to bring others on the bandwagon, on the boat, on the ship, yes. And you then all enjoy the fruits. I don't want to enjoy the fruits alone, because I'm not going to feel happy if it's just me alone enjoying the fruits. I feel like we all deserve to tap in these beautiful blue oceans where there is no competition. If you want to know about red and blue oceans, please do Google about it. I'll share one day a review of this book which I've read, where they move you from the red oceans where everybody is competing and everybody wants to get that what everybody is having, and you move to a place where there's no competition, but there's room for you to create. As a young person, move away from red oceans. Move away from places where you are just in a bubble and doing everything that everybody is doing. You are hopping onto the next trend. You are hopping on to the next thing that everybody is doing. And in the time when you're doing all that, you are losing yourself. Go in the blue oceans. For me, I've created my own path where I am living in my own bubble. And it's so beautiful because I have now the time and the ability to create new answers. And that is like refreshing. It's a breath of fresh air, right? So don't be in a bubble with everybody. Create your own path. So when you get to taste the side of blue oceans, you become unstoppable. You become unlimited. I'm so happy I'm having this conversation with you guys. So number 5, which is the last, mastery. Once you have transformed, of course, then mastery is nothing really. Oopsie, sorry. Just want to be comfortable. I don't know why I had to sit like this while I could actually just sit here or sit on this couch, but I think it's more cozier because it's a conversation we are having. We are a movement, right? Mastery really just helps you to live consistently, continuously do the things that are transforming you. For me, although I've done all this that is here, I've read all the books that I've read, I'm still holding on to these practices because they are like daily rituals for me. And I am consistently showing up because that's what I've taught my brain. I have changed my brain, or I've created patterns in my brain that I am trustworthy, I show up for myself, I do the things I said I'm going to do. Therefore, consistency is key in my life. My habits are key. What's the time now? It's just 7:31 a.m. This is a mother who has two kids, the youngest being 5 months. But because I love me, because I prioritize me so that I can show up for my family, I wake up every day at 5 a.m. I would literally sneak out of the room and just come sit outside here and have this conversation with you guys. But before I did that, before I set up this camera and record, I was sitting by this couch here with my journal, wrote down all my thoughts. I read a book already, and I'm having this conversation with you guys. So you want to be consistent in your life, because when you are consistent in your life, you are teaching yourself that you are trustworthy, you are reliable, you are a trailblazer, whatever the word is, and you are on a journey. And for me now, I'm just like, now that I've done all these points, which I just shared with you guys, now I am in awe. I don't know what is next. What is next in my life? And that is the beauty of being in the presence when you know this is what I have done. And now I am just like, can I please dream further? Can I please dream more? But I want to dream more with you guys. Hence, I'm inviting you to be part of the Daring to Differ movement, where we know that our environments where we come from, they did the best that they could do, but we have the ability to rewrite our story. We have the ability to create new environments for ourselves and for our families. So let me love and leave you. This is a Daring to Differ podcast. I am your host, Anarchy. I'll see you in the next episode. Please do click. No, do like and subscribe. Much love.